All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is going to be object number 2 for intro to isometric. Now I'm going to do a couple of different things with this object as well. This time, instead of using the line tool, I'm going to use the rectangle tool. It's going to make my life a lot easier. I'm going to model faster with it. So hopefully this helps you out. Okay, I'm going to click on create a sketch. And I'm going to click on the plane that is the front view, and I'm going to make sure that you confirm that with the view cube here. It should say front. Okay. Now this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the 2-point rectangle tool. From the origin, I'm going to create a rectangle that is 2 inches across. I'm going to hit tab on my keyboard to switch to the other measurement that is there. You could see the highlight switch between the two. And I'm going to type in 0.75 for the height. That's going to give me my square that I need. But now if you look at the instructions and your dimensions for object number 2, you'll notice that a piece of that top right corner is cut out. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool again and the top right corner of the box. So I'm going to create another box that's inside of the square that we just created. And I'm going to make that one 0.75 by 0.5. Now I got these dimensions again by reading the measurements that are on the instructions. Okay, so once I create those, I have pretty much finished the sketch that I want. I'm going to click on Finish Sketch and Extrude. Now when I click on Extrude this time, there are 2 closed loops, so it's asking me which one do I want to select. Do I want this one or do I want this one? So I'm going to select on this front view right here because that's the object that I want. Now that dimension, or that depth rather, is going to be 1.25 as per our instructions. I'm going to hit enter and there is my object. Super simple, super easy and quick. Now I'm going to save this object as intro 2. And since I have actually edited this already, this is going to pop up right here. This might happen to you. That's fine. If you have an object that you've edited, but you need to resave it, it's going to call it a milestone. Okay. So you're just going to click on OK. You can leave this uncheck marked, but click OK, and it's going to write over the object that you have. Okay. So now I want to create a drawing file of this object. So I'm going to go to Design, Drawing, from Design. I'm going to make sure that my template is selected. Now, sometimes your template may disappear on you. That's fine. Click on Browse and find the template that you have uploaded. You may need to click on a couple of folders just to reload that template. Click Select and then click OK. Give it a few seconds and it will load up. There's your object attached to your keyboard. So what, or not your keyboard, your cursor, my apologies. So I'm going to change the scale right here to a size 2 because again, I want it a little bit bigger so that way I can see the object better. So I am going to click to place my front view. Okay, and that's going to select, or that's going to place down my front view. I'm going to select the projected view tool. Click on my parent view. I'm going to create a top view, a right view, and an isometric view. And then I'm going to hit enter to place those objects down. I'm going to double click on my isometric view, click on shaded, and then click close. But again, last but not least, the most important step is I need to add dimensions, the measurements for these objects. So if you take a look at the dimensions that are provided on your instructions, it'll tell you that you need a dimension here, one here. It will ask you to provide a dimension up at the top right here, 0.5 coming out from the side right here, a 0.25 from right here, and then it will ask you to provide a 1.25 right there. Now, this is a little clustered, a little chaotic here. And we're going to learn this later on in a lesson about dimensioning standards. Okay. But I want to clean this up because this kind of looks a little chaos and I can't really see my object. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on each dimension and I'm going to delete those. When I delete those, all that will be left is my actual drawing. So I'll need to click on the dimension tool again. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up a bit. And instead of clicking on the line, there are going to be some dimensions where I'm going to click on the corner. So I'm going to click on the very far corner of that object, the very far corner right here, and I'm going to create a 2-inch dimension right there. Now you'll notice that if your mouse is over the line itself, it'll come in at an angle. We don't want that. We want a completely horizontal line. So I'm going to create a dimension right here about halfway between both objects. And then I'm going to create another dimension from this line right here. I'm going to place it right about there. My next step is I'm going to create another dimension on the height from that corner to the bottom corner. And I'm going to give that one a 0.75 designation, or it should already. But then I'm going to create a 0.25 also right up here. Now you'll notice that this 0.25 comes down here at the bottom. If you clicked on the corner at the top first and then the bottom corner, your 0.25 will probably come up here. That's perfectly fine. Okay, again, it doesn't necessarily matter what side it is on. Last but not least, I need a dimension for our depth. So I'm going to click up here on this line to give us our depth dimension. Once I do that, it is all ready to save. So I'm going to call this one Intro 2 as well. And it's going to be saved in our drawing figures folder. Save that and you are good to go.